Daily Dose of Daryl, Viewers Digest, 7 days in one, February 28th through March 6th, 2022. You know, if you open up the information section, you'll be able to find helpful information to help you fast forward. For instance, you can go to right to the date and click forward. Also, if you'd like to copy and pass these around, these QR codes will take you straight to the channel, or this other one will take you straight to the website. Earth, Wind, and Fire started out of Chicago in 1969, still active today. Basic elements for humans, necessities. I'm adding water, sun, and food, and they can teach us much more about this life and the life beyond. Monday Magic. What you going to do if you have an 8-foot tall stepladder that you got to transport? Get a Prius. It's a tricky little car, even though this is Monday Magic. Well, the salesperson couldn't believe it, so he followed me to the car. It fit all the way into the car, and I closed the lid and drove away. Now, using alternative power, the car gets 55 to 65 miles per gallon. There is a power available from one of the basics of life, the sun, and it is always with us and has been from the start. Years ago, we helped the community build their own collectors to harness the sun's power. I wrote a little book to illustrate how to build these simple units. Today, the technology has really advanced. Some companies are even designing and building alternative energy fire trucks. Price drops and tax breaks are making it more cost-effective to use the sun even today. Take a typical house. Most have 4 sides. Using the south side that gets sun most of the time, panels can be installed. Other energy-saving items can be added. The magic on the Magic Monday is not even a trick. It is remaining open to the new ways of receiving power from something that has always been here, not just used as well as possible. If you keep your eye on where you are now, you'll never move forward. Tuesday Truth. Earth is our solid foundation. It is the thing that we all stand on. Yet, life can get confusing sometimes, and our foundation may get a bit shaky. Many things we don't understand. Other things don't appear to be what they really are. Look at this optical illusion and watch very carefully. The two halves are clearly different, right? The top is dark, the bottom is light. That is so obvious that people might come to blows if you try to convince them otherwise. They would become very sure that they are right. But look what happens when I add a bar to this illustration. Voila! They're the same. It is like that in our lives with many people. We have concluded something about others based on appearance or what has been fed into our heads. It's done with skin tone. It's done with different dialects. It's done with affiliations. Take away the skin tones, and we find that we are very much alike. We need a foundation that is solid and not based on what we see or hear or what we randomly hear from others on random posts on the internet. Our Creator is our foundation. So, we stand on the foundation of the earth physically. We need to stand on our Creator spiritually. There is a song that's very helpful in understanding kind of how our predicament here, it is on earth. And that particular song is an old gospel song that I've heard many times. It goes, "Farther along, we'll know all about it. Farther along, we'll understand why. Cheer up, my brother. Live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by." Songwriter was W.B. Stevens. At that time, when you call, the Lord will answer. When you cry out, He will say, "Here I am." If you get rid of the yoke among you, the finger pointing, and the malicious speaking. Wednesday Wisdom. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in your scorched land and strengthen you. Fire and heat can cook with power. Yes, fire can also destroy with power. And That was found out in Hobart, Tasmania, when a fire started there in the Mount Nelson area, near where the other darrylpeebles lives. Fortunately, his house was safe, but it did get started near him, and Andrew Johns from the Mount Nelson Fire Brigade and many of those firefighters really pulled off a miracle and nipped it in the bud. Could have been much worse. Water drops were made from the air, and the appropriate attack was made. They gathered the water from nearby water sources, and thanks to Stephen Weston for these great photos to let us see what's happening there. Now, in our life, man, fire and water need to balance out each other with the promise of the rainbow. Water has the power to overcome the power of the fire. It can generate electricity, and it can do so many things. It can give life to plants and animals, and so it can refresh. Fire and water are intricately connected. And as the water comes, new life seems to just appear out of nowhere. Plant life, animal life. It's so fun just to look out my window right now, not even in spring yet, and start to see the cardinals and the wrens and robins and other things starting to come around the water to refresh themselves. Water and fire tell us much about this world, but so much beyond can be gained from studying these basic elements. New life is possible because of them, and new life is possible to us. Whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become a spring of water welling up to eternal life. John 14. Thursday thrill. I've added food as an element. It's a necessity. We're led by the Spirit of God. He guides us in all things. Christ declared all foods are clean for us to eat, stating that it is not food that defiles a man, but it's the things that come from his heart that are more important. So as we examine the food we eat from the outside, we need to examine the types of food that we have on the inside of our heart. Bread of life is a title Jesus Christ used to describe himself in John 6:35. I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. The phrase, I am the bread of life, is one of several I am statements that Jesus spoke in the Gospel of John. As we examine those, we would do well to heed them. Throughout the Bible, bread is a symbolic representation of God's life-sustaining provision. And so we need not only the physical bread, but the spiritual bread of life in our lives. When Jesus told the hungry crowds that he was the bread of life, he was teaching his followers that he alone was the true source of spiritual life, both in this present world and in the everlasting life to come. May we begin to transfer these basic necessities of life here on earth into our knowledge and understanding for eternity. The bread of life that Jesus represents never perishes, never spoils, or runs out, unlike the expiration dates on the bread we buy in the store. Friday, flashback, wind. Then we will no longer be infants tossed back and forth by the waves, blown here and there by every wind. And so Ephesians 4:14 helps us to understand that the wind happens, but it's how we approach that wind, whether we go through it successfully or not. We're not to be blown here and there, back and forth. The wind that we see today in our lives moves the trees, it blows snow around, all kinds of things are upset by the wind. And wind can be upsetting and distracting and deflective and guide us to many different places we don't need to go. And it's like that in our life. If you take this same view, you see humans decide to go in a particular direction. And that seems to be, and then they upswell, others begin to join and follow, and you think, well, they got it figured out. But then you just keep, well, nope, they're coming back. And I watch out there, and they go back, and they go forth, and they go forth, and they go back. And we don't want that to be a picture of our lives. We want stability, directions, and a steadfastness to reach our goals. And how we take those sails on a ship, they can guide us off course, but if we have our attitude, they call it, of the sail to the wind, it will take us in the right direction. It's all how we set our sails in that wind as to whether we get to the place that we need to go in our life. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. Though they stumble, they will never fall, for the Lord holds them by the hand. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps if we offer our lives and surrender to His plan for our life. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, soul, and mind. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. Saturday Summary. Sun. The power of the sun has been available since the beginning. We are becoming more open to using it to help. God has already provided the answer to many of the problems we struggle with in our daily lives. The earth is our temporary foundation, but the promises of our Creator, they form our long-term foundation while in this confusing world and beyond. Fire and water can be both destructive and helpful. Learning the proper balance and use for each of these is essential in life and can teach us much about life beyond. Without food, there is no life. With the proper food, there is no more hunger. May we move beyond earthly food to spiritual food that lasts forever. Wind holds a power that can cause us to drift off course and destroy us, but how we approach wind can fill us with power and guide us in a steady direction toward the proper goal for our life. Saturday Summary. Monday Magic, Sun. Learning to use power that is already available can solve many of our problems. Tuesday Truth, Earth. The earth is our temporary foundation, but our Creator is our solid foundation in a world that is often confusing. Wednesday Wisdom, Fire and Water. Fire and water can be both destructive and useful. Learning the proper balance and use is essential in life. Thursday Thrill, Food. Without food, there is no life. With the proper food, there is no more hunger. Friday Flashback, Wind. Wind can cause us to drift off course and be destroyed. Wind can also fill us with power and guide us in a steady direction to the right goal. If we learn the proper approach to the wind, then good things happen. May we learn to set our sails correctly. Sunday Silence. What have you learned this week that has helped you start using a power that was already available to you? Pause the video and reflect. How have you shifted your emphasis from the earthly foundation to the eternal this week? Pause the video and reflect. What did you do this week to better use and balance those things in your life that can be both harmful and helpful? Pause the video and reflect. How have your food habits changed this week in both earthly food and in your eternal spiritual food? Pause the video and reflect. What adjustments have you made this week in your approach to the winds that tried to force you off course from reaching your goals? Pause the video and reflect. This is darrylpeebles, the man behind the microphone, bringing you something positive every day from the Peebles Motivation Bureau. It's divided into the digital, real life, and print divisions, whether it's from the YouTube channel to live magic shows, funerals, weddings, or the many books that we're providing. Check it out and let me know. Locally ordered books, I cover the tax and shipping, plus assign them. Contact me directly to secure those. This book's already taking action with many peoples. If you haven't gotten yours, let me know. Group discounts for local churches, special gift for the pastor. I really appreciate you, your ideas and support. Email me your ideas and feedback. So these are other things I do. Be sure to check it out and contact me at any one of these contact points. This is Daily Dose of Darryl, encouraging you to go out and have a great day. Make it a great day. It's the only one you have. Our mission is responding to the free and gracious gift of God. I am using humor, the art of illusion, modern technology, and decades of serving God and communities to work every day to uncover the beauty in all people and experiences coming my way, endeavoring to educate, entertain, and inspire. Each dose on this channel can help move us toward a better, healthier and more informed mind, body, and spirit. I'm excited to be a small part of the expanding of our capacity to learn, love, and forgive, and together leave this world a better place for all. God bless you.